The criminally insane they had there for a while, and a lot of death. So, but I'd never ever experienced. I don't know, maybe because I was so concerned with trying to figure out what, to get the feel of the population or the area I was in, working with the inmates in that area, because you're always doing that.
Right.
You always got to be on point, and you got to try to figure out, well, what's the next move? Where's this leading to, or what's going on? You got to try to read you got to read the feelings of the place, I guess, that you're working, and so maybe that's why, when your friend there and like myself, we never experienced anything while we were on the job. But then when we had time not to have to worry about the living, it was time, you had the time or the openness to discover what's going on without all that distraction. Because I'll tell you, it eats up a lot of your brain when you're working in a prison. You're always got to be on point, always. From the time you punch in until the time you go home. And that's another reason why people say, well, aren't you scared of what you do? And I'm like, no. Why would I be scared of something that's dead, that can't hurt me, as opposed to someone who could have a knife in their hand? I'm not afraid of ghosts because I've been in some situations where my life was on the line.
Yes.
So, and your life is not on the line when you're dealing with the departed. So, there's no fear. I mean, they could try to scare you, but, they're just humans. They're humans that don't want to be bothered. Or some do. Some want, to get a message across or figure out what's going on. But, there's some that are bullies and, they want to bully you. But, for the most part, there's nothing they can do to you.
Don't you think that a large part of the people that are perceived as negative hauntings are just people who were schmucks when they were alive, so they're schmucks now?
Well, think about it.
It goes with you, right?
Well, when you die, your persona doesn't.
Right.
You are what you are. So, if you're an average Joe here in this life, when you pass, you're going to be an average Joe in that life. But if you're a knucklehead here, a bully, a tough guy, or just a downright nasty person,
right,
you're going to be the same on the other side. Your persona, in my opinion, your persona doesn't change. You are who you are. You can't. That doesn't disappear.
That's my take on it too.
Yeah. Why they are still here? Why? It's not like they're packed. They don't have the room packed. But why are there's still some human consciousnesses just around? Well, some have unfinished business. Some might have an attachment to, say, family or a place or whatever. Or they were murdered and they wanted to get their murderer behind, justice or whatever. But it's not like there's an overwhelming population of departed souls floating around here. Most of them go somewhere. So, why are there some still here? I used to have this talk with some people, that, we get into the friendly debate about why they would be here.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be like, well, one would be some type of attachment to this reality. Or, you got to also consider the way we were all brought up. And we were all brought up in some type of faith in this country, for the most part. Maybe not so much anymore, but from our generation, everybody went to church, and for the most part, you would be, considered a religious country. But it's the fear of judgment. Maybe they didn't feel that they did a good enough job here on Earth, and they're afraid to take that extra step, whatever that extra step is.
Yeah.
But it holds them here because they don't want to face what they think is going to be judgment and condemnation. So that could be another reason. So, it's not really a debate, it's a discussion on why, someone would stay. I had a friend that would tell me when he was a kid, he would be out on the front porch, getting his sneakers on, and he could literally feel his grandmother, smell her, feel her, reach around her or him, and like she wanted to tie his shoes for him.
Oh my gosh.
Sitting on the porch. And then he would look and see his grandfather in the barn, both, deceased. But why did they hang out? I
have a theory about that I'm a Christian, or I'm a Christ follower. I really think that how he lived is what we're supposed to emulate, and I think he's who he said he was, and he did what he said, what he said he did. But the only person who was told by Christ that today you'll see my Father in heaven was the guy that was hanging next to him.
It's called the thief on the cross,
right? But the other statement was from Paul in his writings when he said that, but that contradicts what Christ said also, which was, when I come back, it'll be in the twinkling of an eye and the dead will be raised. Well, if everyone has already gone to judgment, then who are the dead that are being raised?
Well,
it's just there's such a cycle.
Yeah, there's a lot of theology behind that.
Yeah.
You have the second coming, those who are dead in Christ will rise, the ones that are living will rise all together, and then the rest will be judged. There's a lot of theology behind that.
And I went to a Christian school when I started school, and then when I started high school at the same school, we moved back. And then when I started doing the investigations, I was getting validation for things that had happened to me through my life that I just didn't know. I didn't know what it was. And so then when I started researching, I learned that. And I was trying to find an explanation for myself that I could accept that spoke to that, because I knew there were people here. I was experiencing them trying to communicate with their loved ones through me, by communicating with me. I don't seek out that communication, and I'm not always real comfortable with it. But it was happening, and I thought, these people are not supposed to be here.
Right.
And yet here they are. So I started trying to understand that through my faith. And that's kind of where I came down, is that these are the people that opted out. And I used to think that it was a cool thing and you were helping them if you went and tried to, quote, help them cross. And I don't think that unless someone specifically lets you know that's what they want to do, that you should touch that. Because
religion is, speaking of that, biblically speaking, it's clear that the only spirits here on earth are angels and demons who are in a constant battle.
They are
fighting for your soul. Now, who are these people that are still here? Because the Bible is explicit when it says to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord, or you wind up like Lazarus. And there's a great gulf fix, and one can't go to the other can't come here, and you can't go back to warn your family of the place of torment that they're now that Lazarus was in. So it's biblically clear that there are no wandering souls here. It's not scriptural, but yet here we are. So this is where my big confusion came in as well. When I had the experience I had with my son, that brought into question everything I believed and held to be true. And I had to find out why. And I mean, if you study religion, you know that it goes all the way back to the ancient Sumerians. And, you know, it's been through a lot. And here we are thousands of years later with the big three. And of course, you know, all the other little religions that are out there. I'm talking the big three: Christianity, Judaism, and Islam is what we have majorly today. So, and that's through thousands of years of evolving into what it is today. So, I mean, I guess man needs to believe in something. Mankind needs to believe in something. If it isn't a rock, if it isn't a star, if it isn't the moon, if it isn't a tree or a mountain, it has to be in some kind of God. And I mean, through history, you could see from civilization to civilization, say the very first group of people that came across another group of humans in the woods and went, uh-oh, and, you know, they go to war just because they don't know, they're afraid. But the winner absorbs the people and usually their beliefs, although they might be changed a little bit now to the conqueror's way of thinking, but you're still allowed to keep, you know, your basic faith. And you can see this through history, and you can see it even really good between the Greeks and the Romans. I mean, they just changed the names of the gods. So as it progresses through the years, this is what we got left. I mean, but mankind has to have faith in something. So, and this is what we have. But it doesn't explain what we're all investigating. You know, it doesn't explain what we're investigating. And this is where I had the issue of where I had to find out exactly what's going on. And I mean, not only just here, you know, mankind and spiritualism, but this whole universe thing. What are our purposes here? How this whole thing works?
Yes.
And that's the path I'm on.
You know, I'm sorry, but we're going to be going to a break, and I want to continue this because, well,
wow, this is great conversation.
It is. I can't believe the time is just zooming. This is only going to be a 2-minute break, and we will catch y'all on the flip side.
Okie dokie.
You are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk, only on Paranormal Experience Radio, broadcasting live out of Birmingham, Alabama.
You know, You are listening to Paranormal Experienced Radio, and